Okay, so what we're gonna do in this video is create a system to automate blog articles on your website. It could either be on WordPress or it could be on Webflow or Framer or any kind of thing. But in between, we're going to use Google Docs, where all the articles, the complete article, will first be inserted into Google Sheets in a form of a table, and then using that table, it's gonna create using the keywords that we specify, it's going to create a particular article with a proper markdown H1, H2, H3, P tags, and put it in a Google Doc. Once that is approved, then that is going to be published into whatever platform that you are using. Uh, this video might be divided into multiple parts. I still need to get through this in order to understand how many parts it's going to take, but I will try my best to keep it as uh, simple and fast as possible. Uh, but first, let's just directly jump into the flow of how things are gonna work. Okay, so we are basically gonna give it we just want an input from the user, that is yourself, that we're gonna give a particular article except the idea that you have on your head, and that idea should be saved into Google Sheet, and then once that is saved into Google Sheet, it has to be processed via ChatGPT and updated back on the sheet. Okay, and then once that is processed via ChatGPT and updated back on the sheet, it has to create relevant smaller pieces of create basically generate the complete content piece by piece. Once that is generated, it has to be saved into a Google Doc. No, okay, before that it's got converted to proper markdown with no repetitions and with no repetitions and proper and formatted. Once that is converted, then it has to be basically got into Google Doc, added to Google Doc, which is organized into a Google Drive folder, and then once that Google Drive folder is sorted, once that Google Doc file is sorted, then it has to be manually approved or disapproved. Okay, and once that is approved, then post it to your platform. Okay, post, in our case, which let's just do Webflow. Post it to Webflow. I can even like do it in here where we have both the options of we try. Okay, post it to Workflow and post it to WordPress. We can do both of them independently depending on what we're trying to do in here. If it is Webflow again, then it has to be properly categorized. With tag and yeah, with tags are perfect. Okay, so let's just jot down the process again. We have the article except this has to be via some kind of form. We can take via Google form, and then once we take that Google form, it has to be saved in the Google Sheet. Okay, saved. Google Sheet. Once that is saved in the Google Sheet, the automation still continues, and here it has to be processed via ChatGPT to understand the objective, the relevance, or something like that, where the OpenAI module has to be used. Once the OpenAI module is used, then it has to be generated piece by piece. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just create this, this, and this, then save the data, update Google Sheet. Then this basically has to be iterated in a way where it generates piece by piece, then it gets converted into Google Doc, then it gets converted into Markdown, and then it gets added to the Google Doc at the end, and then piece by piece. So basically it's an iteration here which we can actually, okay, no, which can be, okay, so what we can do is, okay, perfect. So let's just jot down the things in here. So our input will be Google form submission, Google Forms, watch responses. So once we have a particular response, then it has to be saved into Google Sheet, add a row. Okay, so this basically watch article excerpt, and then here it has to be saved to Google Sheet. Once this is saved on your Google Sheet, then it has to be processed via OpenAI, and our objective here will be to create a completion. Okay, and then this objective of this is to save to Google Sheet and then process and then update. Understand the objectives, understand the article objective, and give it a scoring. Understand the article, excerpt, and score. Okay, well, we need the scoring because we want to understand if that is required, like if that is a relevant, if that is a good one or not. Okay, and then once we get the particular understanding, then this is again updated to Google Sheets. Update a specific row. Yeah. Update score and other data. And then, okay, what we have next is basically update. Okay, then it should go into an iterator. This is the iterator. Then we have to put across update Google Sheet. Then it has to be processed by OpenAI or finish create a completion. Once that completion is processed, then again process the first process. Let's say in my case, I'll just like name it P1 part 1 of the article. Then we need to update. Okay, then we need to create a completion again. This has to be process P2 and so on. So this basically will be divided into multiple pieces in here. Okay, and then this has to be, okay, so this is iterator depending on, okay, so this is, yeah, so this is basically one after the other. It will process each part, and then convert to Markdown, and then Once converted to Markdown, it has to be added to Google Doc. We did not create an article document yet, so what we can do here is we can actually create other data. Here we will create another module for adding a Google Doc. Create a document and then save that document to Google Sheet, update a row, and then we have the row iterator, and then each part is processed and converted to Markdown, and then we add it to Google Doc. Insert a paragraph to the document, and then once that is sorted, then it has to be moved back. The status has to be moved back into here, where we update a particular row by putting it across if that is approved or disapproved, like the status of that, and then once that status is mapped out, once that status here is mapped out, then that is when we directly post it to Webflow. In this case, we can actually think about post. Okay, 1 second. Publish an item. Okay, so this basically will give us the flow. What we can also do in here is manually, like in this part before the Webflow part, we can manually stop it to create a manual trigger, as what I was mentioning here. Manually disapproved, but in this case we can actually move on to directly putting it across, posting it on Webflow. Once that is posted on Webflow, then we can also categorize everything in there. So what we're doing here is we are watching for the Google form response. Then that response raw is being saved to the Google Sheet. Then that raw response is taken to OpenAI's OpenAI. Okay, actually what we can do is we can actually remove that from here, and then we can directly score the article, score the excerpt, and once that is scored, when this excerpt is scored, then update raw plus score to sheets. Yeah, I think this is much better. Watch. So raw. So this is where we get a raw data from. Then that is sent to OpenAI to score, and to score it from 1 to 10 or whatever metrics you want to place it into. And then once we get that, then the raw updated score and the raw data is sent to the Google Sheets. Then once that is sent to Google Sheet, we can have another manual filter here, which is if worthwhile to create, if auto approved. So this basically, we can create a filter in here which basically would auto approved or not, depending on what kind of scoring we give. If it is approved, that is only when it gets processed into the creation of Google Docs. So what we can do is we can actually create a router in here, which is one is this and the other one is this, which basically will end. Yeah, so this is if no. Okay, so 1 second. This setup. If it is approved, if score is satisfied, then it is gonna go create a Google Doc for it. If it is not satisfied, if score fails, then we just get a notification on Discord. In our case, it is Discord. Send a message to a specific channel. Yes. Notify score failed. Not notify bad excerpt. Okay, and then here it starts create. Okay, so what I can do is I can create another module in here, which is for this, and then we send a message. We basically is notify good excerpt. So this basically will notify us on our Google Discord channel, and then once that is notified, then it creates a document and updates that back into Google Sheet, and it's going to divide. So what we're going to do in here is we are going to divide the article into multiple parts, and each part will again be moved into the iterator, and each part gets processed, then converted to Markdown, and then added to Google Doc. Once that is added to Google Doc, the whole thing is then updated on the row. Okay, what we can do here is yeah, so this is what will happen in here, where it will convert into Markdown and then add it to your Google Doc, and then the sheet is updated with the data that this particular one is properly processed, and then once all this iteration is done, that is when it's going to get published. So what we're going to do here is this is going to be moved, and then this is the part, and then what we can do is we can create a router, and then we create another one, and then this is the one. Okay, yeah, so this is, once we are done with the iteration in here, it's going to be added to Google Doc, and then the Google Sheet, and then published to Webflow. If in case if there is another one which is WordPress, then what we can do is we can actually publish an article, create a post. So we can either go with Webflow, WordPress, or whatever you have. I also use Ghost for a couple of my websites. So we can actually do this, which is like it can be published to one after the. It can be published in each of them, and once it is published to this, then what we can do is clone and clone and clone, rename, notify, post, published. Okay, so what we have in here is okay. Yeah, this is how the flow of whole generation of an article from an excerpt or some kind of idea that you have from the idea, but we can actually call it an idea or article idea raw. Yeah, this is the input. We can also choose, we can also create a Slack as your input response. Uh, uh, like it can be a bot there where Slack can understand. You can directly put it on Slack, and then that will directly be pushed onto ChatGPT, and once that analyzes it, it's gonna put down the score in here, which is gonna give it one unique link to this, a unique idea ID to this, which will then be mapped out into the Google Sheet. And once that is satisfied, that is when it will go into the whole flow of notifying, then creating a document, then adding the document ID into our Google Sheet. And if it is added into Google Sheet, then it's going to first move into the iterator, process each part, convert to Markdown, add to the Google Doc which is provided above, and then update back your Google Sheet. And once the whole iteration is done, then it's going to get published into each of the individual content CMS platforms that you're going to use. So this is one way of doing it. There are multiple ways, because again, automation is something which is highly dependent on what you are trying to achieve and what your end goal is. I would rather always first plan the whole thing, map out all the possibilities that are in my case uh, do important, and then once that is sorted in my head, that is when I'm going to move to start move to creation of each individual automation. And once each individual automation is sorted, uh, that is when it has to be uh, moved to being live. It is very important, according to me, to break down the automation into multiple parts, so that you can your each of the individual objective is achieved. It's like milestone wise, so that you can actually divide and make sure that you do not face issues. Before creating all the automations, it is very important that you do some of the tasks manually. Once that is manually sorted, that is only when you should be moving to automating it. So yeah, this is about this. I will now jump into the execution of the whole automation. Before that, I would like to tell that I have automated most of the parts of my agency, and I think automation is the way forward, and that is the reason why I started this channel. This channel is created with the sole purpose of uh, trying to educate automation and to trying to give out the knowledge. So please do comment if you have any kind of questions, or please do reach out to me if there are any kind of questions, any kind of doubts that you have. Please like, share, and subscribe, so that this would support me. Thank you. And then let's just jump into the execution part. Okay, so let's start getting into the execution part. So this is about, I can name this idea input, idea to article generator for the YouTube video. Okay, so I don't really need a defaults collect to not collect. Okay, questions default. Yeah, okay, perfect. So what do I need in here? As an idea, I can take raw idea. The idea could be a short answer, and I can take if any specific article instructions. Raw idea, and this is not really required. So what we can do in here is, yeah, okay, so the raw idea is taken, and then if there is any specific article instructions, okay, perfect. So what we can do now is article to idea for IT. Okay, what we need to do is map this responses part to search document title. Okay, we have that, and then we'll take one idea at a time. Uh, it is suggested from Make always that we take two in one process, in one workflow, but I really think one is a better way to actually analyze, because this also will not allow your executions from Make to be wasted. Plus, the OpenAI's tokens will not be wasted if it is not working in the direction that you're aiming it for. Okay. So now that we have the idea and the instructions, then what we need to do is we need to put it across to ChatGPT. Excuse me. We'll take the 4O. We'll take the system. Okay, you are an helpful assistant for scoring. Okay, and for improving my raw I raw my raw article idea to a proper excerpt that can be used to create an outline for the complete article. Please make sure that you create the excerpt in English US and make it sound, make it look very humanly and not something made from AI. Okay, so this is something which I would want to tell, and then what I'll do is I'll tell, okay, please provide, okay, kindly provide the raw idea and the instructions, if any. So I'm just trying to help you understand how it works. You can optimize it further from each individual step. So I'm using I'm using two messages. One is the user, then the system, then the user. So there's like third message, and the fourth message is actually my output. In my internal systems, I do usually use like 8 to 10 of those individual messages, because that actually trains that particular data. It trains that particular model or that node. Or what you can alternatively do is go back to OpenAI and create an assistant inside Assistant API and use that API in here, which is much better. So I usually, since Assistant API have been so strong, I actually use that for a lot of things. But in places where I already have scenarios made for in such a form, I have not disturbed them. So yeah. Okay, so now we have this. What we need to do in here is, okay, we need to provide, here is the raw idea, here is the instructions for this for the article. Okay, so we forgot the scoring part in here. What we can do is actually let this okay, so I can do like 2048 in here, and then I need to actually run this module. Okay, so we need to test this by running it here. Okay, so how AI is can help e-commerce businesses optimize their overall marketing spend and operating cost, ultimately helping them make more profit, which directly helps them grow. Try to create some examples so as to make the end user understand it in layman terms. Okay, so this is our response, and what we have in here is this. did we get this? Yes. Okay, now that we have it here, what we'll do is we'll go here, we'll give it the raw, we'll give the raw idea specific answer, which is this, and then we're gonna give the specific instruction is this. Okay, and we will basically, okay, here is the instruction, here is the raw idea, here are the instructions for the article. In addition to the above instructions, I would want you to directly send only the output and nothing else as that's used in our processing. Anything else? Okay. So what we are ideally getting a result in here. That result has to be stored. Okay, so we need to rename this. Create a proper excerpt. Perfect. Now, so this could be raw idea to excerpt. Raw idea input, and then raw idea to excerpt. Up here we can have update raw, update excerpt, and raw idea update to sheets. So what we can have in here is we can create another sheet. Okay, what we can do is we can actually create a Google Sheet with this particular directly from here. Here are the responses. I don't want to collect this, but I want to create oh yeah, link to sheets. Yeah, perfect. So this will basically link to it, view it in sheets. Then since we have this, what we can do is we can have it this way, and then what this is generated excerpt. So here we will have the excerpt that which gets generated. So we basically need to map it out in here. Okay, and then we need to put the result. Update a row. Response ID. Do we have the response ID in here? No. Okay, how do we map? Okay, what we can do is we can remove this part. We can have another, add a module, Google Sheets, update, create a row, update. Search for. No, what I can do is actually I can make it much more. Okay, what I can do is I can have excerpt only. So this is more like generation of the idea, raw idea here with instructions, and then we get the excerpt in here. Okay, and then what we can do is we can map out the excerpt. Okay, raw idea, then instructions, then excerpt. Okay, so this basically will update create a row. Okay, so create a row, and the name is select from the list here. choose this particular one, and then we choose the second one, and then, oh, my bad. Add a module, Google Sheets, add a row, and then here is the spreadsheet ID. And then I need to choose that particular sheet. Then we have the headers, and then we have the raw idea in here, which is, in our case, this is the raw idea. Then there is a specific instruction. Then what we get as a result in here. So this will basically store that particular into our Google Sheet. And then we notify saying, okay, so what I can do is, I already have something connected, and then the channel ID, I can send it to ops saying good excerpt for YouTube video, and then good excerpt, and then I have ops bad excerpt, bad, and then what we need to do is create a Google document inside our Google Drive. This is for idea to article generation, and then we create a document with the idea. Okay, for now, what I can do is, okay, so I will like idea excerpt, and then I can accept number the response ID to just like keep it organized, and the content for this is basically the, no, this is empty for now. I can actually give the title if that is required, and the document's location is for the examples, and then idea generation, excerpt number, okay. This has to be, okay, so this basically creates a document, and then we have to update back the document. One second. So what I need to do in here is Google Doc link, article link, and then so we need to come back with this with select from path, and then what we need to do is we select this, and then we get a row number from here, so we're going to use that particular row number to update that particular row again with the Google Doc with the Google Doc link. Okay, so we have the row number here, and then we need to put down the article link in here, which will be the web view link, article link. Okay, so we basically are getting the web document in here with the web view link, and then once we have that particular row like the document uploaded into that particular row, then it's gonna go into the router one by one. It's gonna perform all the things that are required. In our case, I can actually yeah, I can actually let's process each particular part. So once we have it updated, we will need to, okay, what I'll do is I'll actually run it till here once, so that we are good with what we're trying to do. Okay, and this is our idea once again. This is our article specific instructions. What we're gonna do is, if the I'm not using the scoring system in here right now, but we can do that depending on if you want to score. In this case, I don't really think scoring is required because we're sure that ChatGPT will be good enough. So we'll just run this once with I put in the response, then I just like click on run once. So it's gonna take my particular response from here, try to create some example. So okay, and then it, okay, so this particular field, okay, I don't really need it right now. Okay, so it added the row. Okay, it should work till here so far, which is here. No, it hasn't added the row. Okay, my bad. Okay, except only updates. In today's fast-paced world, this is okay. This is the one. I can actually limit it to a certain number of characters. So this again, in today's fast-paced world, e-commerce businesses are always looking for ways to optimize their marketing spend and reduce operating costs. Artificial intelligence has emerged as a powerful tool that can significantly aid in these areas, ultimately boosting profits and fostering growth. Imagine this: an e-commerce store selling fashion accessories uses AI-driven analytics to understand consumer behavior. By analyzing past purchase data, browsing history, and even social media activity, AI can predict trends and suggest more blah blah blah. Moreover, AI can optimize the ad campaigns on the operational side, AI chatbots on by leveraging AI technology. So I got like 5 points. I can give it more instructions to not build such a huge excerpt. Rather, what we can do is we can uh, make sure that the excerpt is max of 2 paragraphs, or let's say max of 5 single points with 1 paragraph as in introduction. The smarter your excerpt is going to be, the better your article will come out. So using this method to create an excerpt is a good way. uh, and So, and I actually took that. I actually also put down that, please make sure that it is in. Please make sure that you kind of give some kind of example. I don't know where I wrote that. Okay, okay, okay. I actually put that in the Google, in the article, in the response itself. Try to create some examples. So we can actually lock it in here so that it makes it always gives an example, because example can actually give out a good article uh, out, and it will define the direction of what kind of output do we want from that particular article. So this becomes very important. You can give as much of instructions as possible. So this has given me an instruction till here. This has given me an output till here, which is about the idea, which is about the excerpt. Now, if I take that particular excerpt and put it in Google Doc, okay, what I can do is I can make it pretty straightforward. So I'll just like delete this part of delete this module, and then we can actually remove the scoring from here for now. And then this is creation. I don't need a router. I just need to spend. Okay, no. Okay, this is there, and then I'll just like remove the router from here, and then I can put across some. I can delete this. Then I don't even need a iterator in here. I can take this. I can process. Okay, I'm just trying to make it much easier because this is kind of getting a lengthier, and it might get a little confusing. So I don't really want that to happen. So what we're going to do here is as we updated the row, then that particular row is used. I mean, it's creating a Google Doc. Then that Google Doc has to be updated back into our Google. Oh, sorry. It has to be updated back into the Google Sheets via update row. And then since I have that particular row number in my previous node in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that particular row number from there, and then the row number is this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the article link, which is the web view link from the previous one, and then now I have the document. I have updated that in the Google Doc. Now what I need to do is I need to take that particular excerpt. Okay, generate article. That particular has to be converted to Google Doc, to Markdown, and then updated back into Google Doc, and then with the status back into this. So status of article, generated or not generated, is what I want to know in here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do in here is we need to generate that article. So I'll take the same model, I'll take this, I'll take system, I'll take user. You are an helpful article generator using the following excerpt. Kindly generate a good article with proper H1 and H2 articles, making sure that the article is no less than 1000 words and no more than 2000 words. Okay, now here is the article excerpt. So we need to take the result from here and put it in this, and then what we're essentially gonna get. Okay, so we need 2048. Essentially getting is the article from here. Then we need to take that particular article and convert it into Markdown. So again, you are an expert Markdown converter. You will take the article and you will take the article that I provide and convert it into proper Markdown based Markdown format with H1, H2, H3, P, BR tags without errors. Do not include the title name since the title will already be. I do not include that. I don't need to give it reasoning. So I need to give it the result from the previous one. Here is the article which is to be converted to Markdown formatting. And then create a completion, generate article, yes. So I have the result, I have the Markdown in here. Now this particular Markdown has to be connected. So we need to connect our Google Doc again in here. Okay. Okay, so what I need as a document ID is by mapping, and then I put down the document ID from the previous one here, which is a document ID, and the appended text, which is going to be the result from the markdown based ChatGPT module. Once that is done, now we need to come back and put our, okay, so this is the document, and then the row number, which is excerpt, and then the row number from, excuse me, the row number is, no, I need to get the row number from here, which is the row number is this, and then the status is done. Uh, Status is done. Okay, we are done. Okay, now that we have this, so I've actually reduced a lot of steps in here just to explain how it can work. You can do the scoring part if you go deeper into each of the aspect, and then if you want to post it directly, I can directly you connect WordPress, which I'm not going to do in here um, because I don't have a WordPress website right now. But that is also that will also be pretty easy. I can show you Webflow in this case, which can be which can be publish an item, and then you choose that particular site, and then the collection, which is in our case could be the blog post, and then you choose that particular you choose that particular, no, so publish an, okay, so this is a particular item ID, and okay, so this is basically publishing. No, I don't really want this. I want to create an item, and then the same thing, and then I'm going to use the from the list, and then I'm going to use the particular site ID, and then the collection, which is a blog post, and then I'm gonna put down a name. I've not generated a title in here because we can actually generate that a title directly by also making sure that it is SEO centric and ask GPT to create that, or you can create an assistant for that which can create the title for you, and then you can bring it back in here, and then the post has to be the completed markdowns result, and then you choose a particular category if you already have, or you can have or you can actually keep it as a draft in here, and then make sure that you solve it later. So this will directly post, but in my case I'm not going to do that, so I'm just like removing it from here, and then here we have our flow. So what I'll do is I'll submit another response with the same one, just to create okay, so just to see how it will be working, and then I submit. This is submitted, then I'm gonna run it once, so this is gonna catch it, and then it's gonna push to creation of the excerpt. That is done. Then it is updating the Google Sheet with the excerpt data. That is done. Then it is creating. Okay, so the requested output type is not supported. What is the problem? Conversion of the uploaded content requested. I have not requested any content. I am not sure. Conversion of the uploaded content to the requested output type is not supported. You want me to? Okay. You want to enter the content of the whatever like article. Okay, well I'll just like write raw, and then I need to run this from here. Run this module, response ID 123. So now it is creating. Okay, so I need to like rerun the whole thing. Okay, here I have the instructions. Here I have the raw idea, which is this, and then I'm submitting this, and then I run it again. This will now create the document. Yes, create updated the Google Sheet. This is now creating the article. It can take time depending on how lengthy it is, and then it depends on the model that you're using. ChatGPT 4.0 is fast enough, but more than fast, it will generate a higher quality article that we are trying to achieve. So it can take time depending on the model that you're using. Usually, it takes about, what I've seen is about 1 minute to less than 1 minute actually. But it depends. Like if I'm trying to generate a 4,000 word article or something like that, which can it can take much faster. But if you think about it from an HR perspective, an HR a team or your team would take so much more time than this. And then we have the article in here. No, I don't want the input. I want the output. Okay, so this is the article that has got harnessing the power of AI or power of AI to revolutionize e-commerce in the today's past phase, the advent of personalized marketing, dynamic pricing strategy, inventory management, and etc. Then it has converted to Markdown, which is this hashtags and then star. This is bold, or I think it can be italics, and then we have multiple paragraphs in here, and then that is inserted directly into the Google Doc, and that is updated. Okay, so when we come back to our article, we can see that article link in here, which is this. So we literally have, I mean, I can avoid having that raw part, but yeah, I literally have the whole article in Markdown. If I wanted to convert it in HTML, that is also possible. If I want to post it on WordPress, WordPress, Webflow, Framer, or any other third-party uh, CMS platform, that is also highly possible. Then we can create more flows deeper into this, which can move into categorizing it into scoring of how good, like how ChatGPT will rate it, and depending on the score, if it is more than 9 or less than 9, you can choose that particular one to post or not post. You can have a manual approval in here. You can you can also connect it to Hugging Face to create an image for you, which will automatically be placed into your CMS along with your article. You can also create multiple mapping from here, which can create a smaller version of your article and put it across on social media, on LinkedIn, depending LinkedIn style, and then Word on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, or create a smaller video with this. Everything is possible in here. It is just about the mindset and what you're trying to achieve. Please do comment below if you have any kind of questions. I will try my best to help you through it. I am constantly releasing multiple videos just to teach the automations that I have been using or I think which are important. But if you have a specific automation that you're looking for, please do comment, because I actually choose a lot of my videos, the next topic from the comments that I get below my videos. So this is a new, what you call, new channel for me. I've been into this field for a long time. I've been a freelancer for about, uh, I think about 15, 20-ish years, and have been running an agency for more than 8 years now. Have worked with a lot of brands, but generation of content is pretty new for me. So I'm trying my best to be out there. I would really want really request you to support me through this journey. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, or give me a comment if you have any questions. That would be very helpful for me. Thank you so much.